Hey, it's Alan Burnett from YourWeddingHub.com. Thank you for joining me. It is Friday. That means it's time for the wedding story of the week. Now, I want to tell you a story today about a couple that called us to book one of our venues. And at our venues, the officiant, the minister, comes along with the package. But we're really flexible with people. And so we want to tailor that ceremony to make it them. And so this couple called and they said to our office manager, well, we want to meet with the officiant because if this guy doesn't have a sense of humor, we don't want him doing the ceremony. And I thought that was a bit of an odd request, but I was able to comply with that because, you know, I can go that direction if that's what people like. That's probably really natural for me anyway, but when I met with this couple, we just had a hoot planning the ceremony. I mean, we laughed and laughed, and I found out, I mean, that's just, this couple, they're just natural comedians. And so on the day of the ceremony, it came around, and we had all walked in, taken our places, and the bride's coming down the aisle with her dad. Now, her father was a sergeant with the local police force, retired sergeant actually, and I mean, he was a big dude. And he's coming down with his daughter on his strong right arm. But he is obviously, his tears and eyes are very closely connected to his heart. Because his eyes were just welling up with tears. But I don't know if you've ever seen someone whose eyes just sort of fill up with tears, but they're not running. You know, they're just, it's just like two big buckets there. And I was watching this as he was coming down the aisle, and I thought, man, if those tears ever break loose, we're going to have to get a mop to mop up the floor. Like he was just vibrating as he was coming down the aisle. So we got the bride and groom into place, and the ceremony got started. And I would say something the least bit humorous. And this groom was like Robin Williams. I mean, he just would shoot back something funny, and we laughed all the way through the ceremony. And I guarantee you, no one there that day felt this is inappropriate because they knew that bride and groom, and that was just so much them. And that's the way it should be, incidentally. But when we got to the vows, I have to tell you, my vows are not so much, you know, like you're swearing citizenship to the country, the real traditional formal vows. Although some couples choose those, and if that's what they like, cool, that's what I'll use. But in this particular case, the couple chose some vows that I've kind of pieced together that are a bit more from the heart. They kind of pull on the emotional strings a bit more. So the groom, he just blazed right through those vows, no problem at all. Kept a straight face, incidentally. Never laughed. But when the bride got to the vows, there comes a line in my vows where she says, or they both say to each other, and I promise to be faithful to you alone for as long as we both shall live. Well, each line of the vows, she was starting to get teared up a wee bit more, and she was kind of starting to quake a bit. And when we got to that line, and I promise to be faithful to you alone, she couldn't say it. And it wasn't because she didn't want to say it. She was just getting too choked up. But the groom threw his hands up in despair, and he said, "What? What a terrible place to stop promising your vows to me." And of course, everybody in the whole place laughed. I mean, we were in an uproar of laughter. The bride managed to get her composure, and then she did say, "And I promise to be faithful to you alone for as long as we both shall live." I still bump into that couple every now and then, even though I did their wedding several years back. When we meet, we laugh. They are still laughing together, have got some kids, and are having a great marriage. But it really emphasizes the importance of you meeting with your officiant and letting them kind of catch your spirit, your DNA, and putting that into the ceremony, because that's the way it should be. This is your wedding, and hopefully you enjoyed the wedding story of the week. Thanks for checking me out on YourWeddingHub.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next week.